I've said to you before, he's over. It's finished for him. Starmer's gone now. It could be May.
Esther, what's the big deal? Everyone needs a holiday, don't they? He's been in the country a year. He wants to go back to his homeland.
But why has it come out now? And the name I'm getting behind all this is...
Hello and welcome to the Daily Expresso. I'm JJ Anisiobi, and today I'm joined by Tory MP Esther McVey. Esther, thank you for joining us. I hear you had an anniversary.
Yeah,
recently.
do I look different now that I've had my 5th anniversary, which is for wood? Would you believe it? We got to 5 years. I put on the card. But look, if this is meant to be a bribe to keep people together, a prize or a present every year, well, it's not so good. First year it's paper, then it's cotton, then it's a fruit or a flower basket.
Right.
I got a fruit, and this time it was wood.
So what did you get?
I got a bread board, a wooden board.
A wooden breadboard?
Yes, but it had Philip and Esther on the corner. To be fair, he's the old romantic, not me. For paper, I did just get him a card year one. He actually got me a pen and paper drawing of where we got married. So Phil is the romantic, I'm not.
And what did you get, Phil?
Well, for this time, for not a wooden chopping board, but I was going to take him to a wood-smoked restaurant.
Okay.
See what I mean? I was getting the name wood in there.
Yeah.
Like when leather was around, I got him a leather aftershave rather than a belt. I try and...
Right.
But you don't get big stuff until like 40 years when it's a sapphire. So your wife and me totally will deserve it by then for putting up with our partners for 40 years. So we've got to hang in there for the big ones.
Wait, so you took him to a wood smoked restaurant?
He said he didn't want to go there in the end. He said he wanted to go to his favourite one. But I was
So you've got him
thinking-
nothing then, basically?
No, I took him to another restaurant.
But it wasn't wood anything?
No. Yes, well, there you go.
God,
like I said, he's the romantic.
Call the divorce lawyers, Phil. That's what I say.
Well, maybe your wife needs to speak to me, or you need to speak to Phil and get the right presents. But anyway, we're still together.
That's what matters most.
It's still together.
That's what matters most. Right, a lot has been happening in Westminster over the last few days. Thankfully, we have Esther on the show, who is all across the organising, the deal-making and the backstabbing going on in and around the Commons. Esther, are you ready to spill some
Can I tell you,
tea?
it is the Labour Party conference this weekend, and it is going to be fireworks.
Really?
Absolutely. I've just been in Liverpool where it will be happening.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm getting leakings and briefings from people about how bad it's going to be, and I'm a Conservative, it really is going to be bad. The first thing I heard is Starmer doesn't even want to be in Liverpool. And he asked, why are we still going to Liverpool? And that's actually because Corbyn set it up for many years because, again, it isn't Starmer's home territory and it's very much Corbynista.
Okay.
And so people don't like him there already.
Yeah.
And there's people now moving to reform rather than voting Labour in Liverpool, unheard of. But the issue he goes into this conference with, and this is that Labour doesn't live by the law. The head people in Labour, the main people at number 10, we live all by the laws, us peasants, but they don't need to. And we saw this, didn't we, with the gifts at the very beginning from Lord Ali. We've seen this with Angela Rayner not paying the right amount of tax. But what we're seeing now, and there are leakings and briefings against the key people, his support team in number 10, against Morgan McSweeney, what happened with that £740,000 worth of donations. This goes back to 2017. So how has it come out now? What is going on?
How's it go back to 2017?
Because it was 2017 when he set up the organisation, Labour Together, and he was trying to use it as a vehicle to get Starmer elected as leader, which he did, and he did that successfully. He was told, we've looked at the setup of your organisation. It's a members' association. You do need to register donations. And this is what the Electoral Commission said to him. He's trying to make out he got this other phone call in 2018 where he didn't have to declare it. And even the lawyers for the Labour Party are coming out now saying there is no record of that. And yes, you do. Now, they already had a fine back in 2021 because the new person who came in when Morgan McSweeney left said, oh my goodness, this hasn't been declared. So she declared him. But what we're looking at now is a criminal investigation, because if he deliberately deceived the Electoral Commission and didn't upload those, this is criminal investigation. But why has it come out now? And the name I'm getting behind all this is it could be the revenge of Mandelson. Because they chucked him under a bus. He was there with Starmer. And when you get chucked under a bus, trust me, people then start to chuck you under a bus. And this is what is happening now. And they say, and that's why I say that Starmer will also be gone, because once your key players are gone, you are, and also his media team at Number 10 are leaving him. 3 have already gone. And can I tell you, this is worse than the worst days of Boris Johnson and Theresa May. And in the Labour Party, it gets very nasty because they don't have as good an operation as we do to get rid of our leaders. We just give names into the, the chairman of the 1922 committee, vote of no confidence and all this. No, what they're going to do is constantly keep smearing him, take the people away from around him. And that's why he'll end up going.
Look, it's all very juicy, especially this.
And true.
With Mandelson. That is...
Oh, yes.
But do you think the public care about this massively, or are they more bothered about immigration and inflation and pensions?
You're right. You're absolutely right. They're interested in the key things, the day-to-day running. But why this is interesting, it's because it's the undermining of the Labour Party, the undermining of the Starmer project. It's also why he can't get anything done. So immigration is key. Why are they not sorting out immigration? Why is he not getting out of the Human Rights Act, getting out of the ECHR? Well, he can't, because there's so many factions and nobody wants to really work for him. And he's fighting for survival. It's all about him. And I'm afraid he sees himself above the law. You've got this two-tier Keir that has infiltrated everything, but also him as well. And like I said, it's party conference season, and the one we've just had, I have to say, with the absolute plonker. And I will say that Ed Davey, my goodness, there isn't some sort of wheeze that he won't do. It's like he's auditioning for children's telly, isn't he? He's either on a hobby horse, riding on that, he's on a paddle board, or he's banging drums as if he's part of Postman Pat. I have to tell you, it's embarrassing.
But with Ed Davey, he's getting headlines. I think he looks like a fool, yes. I don't think it's very becoming of a potential Prime Minister to be doing the things he's doing. But the Lib Dems, is this the only way they can really get any headlines? That they don't. Is their voice worth anything in today's politics?
Well, I think he's making them more irrelevant. In a way, because he's saying the only way that anybody will listen to me is with these silly antics, children's television antics, what I'm doing. And then what was even worse, because obviously that might not be working now, because did anybody know the Lib Dem conference? No. Did they come out with any policies? Did they do anything worse? No. And at the end, he attacked Nigel Farage. He made up a whole host of things that, Farage wants us to be more like America, and about gun laws and about various other things he was saying. This is just plain wrong. This is just attacking the individual. Now, if you're that desperate to get headlines, you're losing your way in politics. Or is he just, that would say, is he just a nasty party that, Tories had a nasty party before? I would say the Lib Dems, under his leadership with what they're doing, what they're now saying, is the nasty party.
Andy Burnham said that some MPs have been urging him to go against Starmer. Is this what's going on? Are people walking around saying, enough of him, let's get the King of the North back here?
Yeah. The northern windbag, as I call him, Starmer with a northern accent. He is exactly the same. Look, he loves the sound of his own voice. I mean, this is a man who's a political chameleon as well. This is a man who was a Corbynista when he needed to be, Blairite when he needs to be. He's a Scouser when he needs to be, a Mancunian when he needs to be, when he goes up the M62. No. Of course, he's fluffing himself up. He's getting himself on the front covers of the papers today. It's maybe what he's planning on doing. He's sort of throwing himself sort of, as it were, around. But he's got a lot of hurdles to get to. He's got to get a seat. I don't know now if he could get a seat. People need to say, but what is it that he's going to do that is any different to Starmer? Nothing. He also wants a wealth tax. He's also going to be spending and borrowing more, like another 40 billion if he does his council houses there. He wants benefit bills to go up. He wants a 2-child cap gone. He's going to put more tax on houses down south. So no, he's not going to work. And remember, he's lost twice.
Yeah.
Once to Corbyn At least Starmer sorted out Corbyn, so Starmer's better than Andy Burnham. And he also lost to Ed Miliband. Now, if my money was on anybody now, if the Labour Party's going to lurch to the left, it's probably mad, net zero zealotry Ed Miliband who could win. But again, dangerous for Starmer to be going to the party conference with headlines about his key teams, could be a criminal investigation.
Yeah.
Some of his key players having gone. And now, openly, his Labour mayor for Manchester going for his top job, touting himself for his top job. That is not a way to go into your party conference.
What can Starmer do at conference to try and save himself and try and calm the flames that are fanning already?
I don't think there's much he can do. I've said to you before, he's over. It's finished for him. Starmer's gone now. It could be May. The only thing he will desperately be trying to do now is figure out how long he can keep hold of Morgan McSweeney. If he goes before the conference, it's a disaster. If he goes during the conference, it's a disaster. And if he goes afterwards, it could be the best bet. So he might be seeing if he can hold on to Morgan McSweeney for a little bit longer. I guess that's what he's trying to play at the moment. But like I say, once you've chucked people under the bus, they're all out for you. Sue Gray might even be amongst those people who were so unceremoniously gotten rid of on day one.
Well, thank you for spilling the tea there, Esther. Let's move on now. One big one for you. An asylum seeker who claimed to have fled Afghanistan due to his life being in danger could face deportation after returning there on holiday. The man who uses the name DG Usama filmed himself arriving in the UK on a small boat in 2022 before successfully applying for asylum. Now, apparently, Usama told officials that he had fled his home country of Afghanistan due to fears for his life under the Taliban. However, last September, he posted a series of videos from a 6-week trip to the country showing him at sites such as Band-e-Amir, a natural park known as Blue Heart due to the bright colour of the lagoons. He later posted a photograph of himself in London, proving that he had returned to the country. Esther, what's the big deal? Everyone needs a holiday, don't they? He's been in the country a year. He wants to go back to his homeland. What's the big problem?
I know you're asking the question like that to get my back up. I know you're doing that so that I could just explode. That'd be a great view when Esther just explodes on set. No, this is brazen. It is outrageous. He came to the UK because he feared for his life in Afghanistan. He needed to be here. He was allowed to stay here because of that, playing our system like a fiddle. And the reality is he's hopping off home for like 6 or 8 weeks. Now, there's a couple of questions I've got to ask you there is, obviously he's not in fear of his life because he wouldn't be going back home. He's not doing it secretly. He's doing TikTok videos of how he came back on the plane via Dubai. But I'm going to ask you, how did he afford that? How did he manage to have an 8-week holiday? I can't afford an 8-week holiday. I'm sure you can't afford it. So he's over here living it high on British taxpayers' money, staying here under an absolute fib, and then he's going back and forth and taunting us. Now, I don't like this, and this is why so many people in this country are absolutely furious. And again, it goes back to Keir Starmer's 2-tier country, because now it's extending not just to what Keir can do and how he doesn't live by the rules, but we've got British citizens and we've got illegal immigrants. You've got British citizens fighting every day to pay their bills, to pay their electricity, to pay for the food, and yet you've got illegal immigrants coming into 4-star hotels, being looked after, being fed, being watered, getting taxis here and there, getting doctors, getting dentists. And this is just unfair. And there's other cases of this. This isn't a one-off. You've got the Indian who didn't want to go back home. Paedophile didn't go back home because of the UN sort of his rights there to family life. And you've got somebody couldn't go back to Zimbabwe because he could have a bit of discomfort should he have gone there. Another paedophile. No, there's lots of issues. And the British public now are saying, what is going on?
So what message does this send to other people who want to come here on small boats?
Well, it says come here, doesn't it? It says, you can come here. You can have a holiday. Basically, you're staying in a hotel, and then you can fly back home. You're making enough money, whether it's on the black market, however you're getting that money, you've made enough money to go away for 8 weeks to get the flight there and back and come here. So it is terrible. And this is what the Labour government's got to stop, the pull factor that people know they can come here and they can go, they can get benefits, they can come and go. So that's what's got to be dealt with. And the one that I read today, I couldn't believe it. A foreign criminal couldn't be bothered in Dorset to wait for the sentencing, goes out of court, gets himself some fish and chips. They're all frantically round looking for him, and they couldn't find him, so he missed his slot. There's a delay going back further into October, and so he gets away with it. I mean, what is going on? No respect for the law. No respect for our country, no respect for our rules. It's not on. If you don't play by the rules of our country, then you shouldn't be here.
So where do you stand on deporting foreign criminals? Do you think they should serve time in our prisons first and then we kick them out? Or do you think just get rid of them straight away?
Well, you see, this is the problem now. And this is, again, another incident that's just happened, wasn't it? 50 Romanians, to get them out the country, committed crimes. Off they go, £2,000 in their back pocket to go and resettle themselves back in Romania. So I do believe they need to serve their sentence, because what we don't want to see is them not serve any sentence, get £2,000 to go home, enjoy themselves, and what? They come back to the UK to commit a crime. So if you want to commit a crime, whatever that crime is, come to the UK. Steal, whatever you want to do, criminal activity, drugs, whatever it is. You won't get a sentence, therefore they need to have a sentence. The victim has got to know that they've been in prison and served a sentence, but we can't be sending them back with money, because I'll tell you, here's another two-tier. I've got a prison close to me, Style Prison. It's a women's prison. Some of those women, when they come out and nobody's met them, they can't even get home. They haven't even got the bus, they haven't got anything, and they're stranded. Our prisoners don't get £2,000 to set them up at home, to pay the rent, to get a taxi home, to see the family. What is going on?
It's a very good point. Kirsty Allsop has accused Rachel Reeves of killing Britain's housing market ahead of her budget in November. The Location co-presenter said the market has stagnated after a raft of proposals were made public. She said the market has stopped, it's dead, nobody is moving, everyone is waiting. Allsop said paralysis has resulted from the Chancellor flying a whole load of kites, meaning proposals around property policies. She added, "I've never seen the market like it." The TV presenter singled out one proposal, which would see taxes imposed on sellers of property worth over £500,000. She told the Telegraph homeowners would question whether to invest in their homes and move if they were going to be punished for it. The government, though, has denied this £500,000 proposal.
Well, I think Kirsty's absolutely spot on. 20% of agreed sales in August didn't. They collapsed. I know Phil was trying to sell his place in London. I think he's had to take a 25% drop in the price because he can't sell it. So it's not just that possible £500,000 extra charge if your house is worth more than that. There's a whole raft that has gone on. So the stamp duty, so if you're now wanting to buy something for £650, it's up by £20,000. Labour ended the discount for first-time buyers for stamp duty, so that's freezing the market there. And they also added the stamp duty surcharge of 5% on the purchase of second homes. That's the one that Angela Rayner was dodging. So there's a whole host of things that has gone into freezing a really important market for the economy, as well as every other tax that Rees has imposed. Everything from the farmers' tax to property rate relief going to national insurance increase for employers. There's so many taxes. She's ruining everything.
But then isn't that just a symptom of, as you say, it's a tax on everything. It's not just the price of the property. Isn't it just a case of, well, this is how it is at the moment, so you're going to have to just suck it up. If you can't afford to sell your house right now, so be it. You have to stay where you are. Isn't that just the case? This is life. If your groceries cost too much, sorry, you can't shop at Waitrose anymore. You need to come shop at Aldi where everyone else is going shopping. Sorry, that's just life, Esther.
Well, that sounds like spoken like a true socialist in a collapsed economy right now. I would say this government, do you remember the children's nursery rhyme? You swallowed a spider to catch a fly.
I never heard that.
Okay, there's a nursery rhyme. She swallowed a spider to catch a fly. I don't know why she swallowed a fly. Perhaps she'll die, right? And this, and I'm talking she as the Labour government, right? This government is swallowing a spider to catch a fly always. So it doesn't go back to and look at that original budget, Reeves, and say, what did we do wrong here? One of the biggest things was increasing the employer's national insurance contribution. So they don't go back to that and stop it. They go, oh no, we're not getting any money in. Our returns have collapsed in the month of August. Let's put some more tax on people. So let's now, they're even floating ideas of, tax for you driving, however much per mile. They're putting tax, increase in sort of business rates. They're putting tax on wealth taxes on absolutely everything. Instead of going back to the problem, we are already overtaxed. We cannot afford jobs. We cannot afford to live. We cannot afford to buy things. We cannot now afford to move home. No, this government is, I swallowed a spider to catch a fly, and it is a disaster. And what Kirsty's saying there is it's impacting the housing market, and you need the housing market to keep the economy going round, the money for construction, the money for builders, the money for interior designers, the money for communities. It is a very important market, the construction market and the house market, to keep the wheels of the economy going.
Bouncing too high on a garden trampoline could amount to illegally snooping on your neighbours. People who catch glimpses over the fence risk breaching privacy laws and their neighbours' human rights. That's according to a report. The paper, by Free Grants for Felons, which is an online directory of financial assistance for ex-convicts, said families setting up garden trampolines are being urged to think twice about where they place them and how they are used. Complaints about peering over fences, filming and noise are rising. It added, a harmless bounce can turn into a dispute, a council visit, or even a day in court if neighbours feel their privacy has been crossed. The report continued, Article 8 of the Human Rights Act sets the privacy baseline that often guides these decisions. This is ludicrous.
I'm telling you, as a local MP, I've heard all of these, and it's true because, the house is the castle. They want to have privacy in the back garden. I've had it where people have got sort of, the cameras, CCTV, and it should have been in their back garden, and people are thinking it's looking in their back garden. So I had somebody do a conservatory in the back garden, only they did it with tinted out glass, sent the neighbour the extra bill from the regular glass to the tinted glass because they said they were watching them. They couldn't be in their back garden. They couldn't have privacy, so they had to have tinted glass there. So I think this privacy thing is a big issue. Bouncing, obviously it's a big issue. So there you go, trying to have a quiet moment, sunbathing. Maybe you go top, I don't know. But they don't want kids bouncing, whatever it is. So I can see that. But I have to tell you, the worst thing I've ever had a neighbour have in their back garden was a cockerel. You laugh. They crow all the time. 4 a.m, 5 a.m, 6 a.m. And that got neighbours' backs up. That cockerel went.
Did he go missing?
He went. No, he didn't go missing. I'm not saying
you took out the cockerel.
I'm not saying during the night they came through the garden, got the cockerel, and no, it's gone to a happy cockerel home where it can be with its hens that it's looking after and flirting with. It can go there rather than waking everybody up. It's just making a horrendous sound all the time.
Look, Esther, I think in this free country, if you and Phil want to have a bounce in your back garden, you should be allowed to do that, and no one should tell you anything. If you go upstairs.
What, to bounce on the bed instead? That's sounding worse, doesn't it? No, as a kid, I used to love to bounce on my bed. This is all sounding, we're going down a wrong path.
You're finally getting where I wanted you to get to.
Yeah. What were you doing upstairs?
If you go upstairs and you look out your window, you can see into the garden, right? You can see into your neighbour's garden. So what are they going to start saying? You can't now have windows on the first floor of your home?
You're a curtain twitcher, aren't you?
I am a curtain twitcher. I am. I want to see who's outside. What's that noise?
Having said that, those people are also good in society because if anything goes wrong, if anything goes missing, if the postman delivered your whatever parcel next door, if the flowers are somewhere else, you, JJ at number 3, twitching, knows exactly what's going on. You serve a purpose, curtain twitcher.
Thank you. The most annoying thing I've ever seen in a garden was a busker. There was a guy who used to busk and he'd go in his garden and busk with his guitar
He's
in his
not
own garden.
Who's giving him money if he's
No,
busking?
I think he's just practicing, but
Oh,
he'd be
right.
stood in the full gear, blaring out songs, which I think we should get rid of buskers.
I love buskers.
Why?
Oh, do you know, I now have £1 in my pocket or in my bag.
All right. Someone's doing okay for himself, say?
I've got cash. Because, do you know what? It now cheers me up. Going on the underground and hearing some beautiful music, because they've got to be at a certain standard to be on the underground. Yeah. And I think, God, the news is so miserable, everything's so miserable, the weather will be miserable. To actually hear some music, it's actually uplifting. So I've got my little quids, which I hand them. And it's because a long time ago as well, my boyfriend, when I was about 18, was a phenomenal sax player. And he'd say, are we going out tonight, Esther? Are we going out? And I'd say, yes. He goes, well, give us a couple of hours. I'll quickly go busking, get my saxophone out and go busking. And he did. And he also used it to practice. He'd never, ever played the sax ever before in his life. He was just natural and gifted and got a place at the Royal Academy of Music. And he used to practice all the time on the streets. Get paid for it. But I tell you what was a pain. At the time, it was 5s and 2p's and this, that, the other. We'd have mountains of it, right? To get into the pictures like a bag like this. We promise you it's the right amount.
Oh, well, Esther and I are off now to go and listen to some buskers on the underground.
And bounce.
And bounce. Esther and off for a bounce. We're off for a bounce now, Esther and I. Thank you for watching. The caffeine has definitely worn off. Join us tomorrow, where I'm joined by the gaffer, Sam Lister, where we answer the best questions, letters and comments from you, lovely lot, our wonderful viewers. Bye-bye for now.